The old adage says, if something's stupid, but it works, it ain't stupid. Today's video is brought to us in part by the generosity of LuckyGunner.com. For the best selection of name brand defensive ammunition and lightning fast shipping on bulk target ammo, head to LuckyGunner.com and thank them for being a sponsor of Active Self-Protection. Hi everyone, this is John with today's Active Self-Protection lesson out of Parana in Brazil. Today we have an attempted armed robbery that ends in one of the funnier ways that I've ever seen one end. So these ladies are just cleaning up shop. They're getting out some hot water to mop the floors and whatever, and it's just another normal day in the shop. But it's not going to end up as a normal day, as what's going to happen here is the speed goes back down to normal speed. As a guy comes up here and starts pointing a gun at him, he wants the money out of the register. But the lady who is filling the bucket's like, I'm just really not okay with that, and throws her bucket of water on the guy and actually chases him off, and that actually worked. Now, she's going to kind of run out there and see if she needs to whack him with her mop, but thankfully that's all we have here, and that is where this one ends. I don't know if that guy just didn't want to take a bath or what, but I'm glad it ended the way that it did. If you appreciate the lessons that you get here at Active Self-Protection, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss a lesson. Out of this one, I want to think about transitional spaces and why they can be more dangerous to us. Secondly, I want to talk about environmental weapons and when it's wise to use them. But third, I want to talk about how sometimes luck plays a part in self-defense. So in these normal days, friends, I do want to talk first about transitional spaces. And as I use the term, a transitional space is a place, not just with an architectural feature of going from outside to inside, but as we see here, is a place in a defensive context where people can, where a perp can launch an attack with an element of surprise and get away quickly. That's how a transitional space, again, a term from the architectural world, is used in the defensive world. And when you're around one of those transitional spaces, you got to recognize that that gives you more of an opportunity to be ambushed. Now notice that he does come out here and he points a gun at them. Now friends, I am going to say this. Compliance is an option. You can comply with an armed robber and just give them what they want. And sometimes that's the best answer. In fact, here, rather than throwing a bucket of water on him, that may have been the better answer. The only thing I will say is that when you do that, you are putting your safety in the hands of someone who absolutely cares not one bit for your safety. So this is why I say keep your tools on you if you can. Keep a firearm handy or whatever. And if this bucket was an incredibly hot bucket of water, if it was boiling water or something, then maybe that's a more effective tool. But just a bucket of warm water on somebody, I don't think is going to work all the time. But it is an environmental weapon. I do honor this lady for thinking, hey, listen, it's not just if I have a gun or a knife or a baton or a bat with me or something, but everything that's in me, that's on me, that it is around me is capable of me using in my self-defense. And that's what we call an environmental weapon, something that is there and able to be used, but isn't necessarily purposely designed for defensive purposes, like a big bucket of water. Now, that said, is a bucket of water an especially effective defensive tool against a gun-wielding opponent? No, it's not. And we say this, there's this phrase that goes around the training industry that you can't count on luck, but luck counts. And that's 100% true. Sometimes you just get lucky, and it is a competition between you and this person who wants to threaten you to get your stuff. And sometimes you get lucky and you get a really dumb bad guy, or you get a really not very good one. And that's great, but if this guy had taken that as an ego affront and decided to shoot her, this would be a very different video. Thankfully, it worked out for her in the end, and I'm glad it did. Now, next I want to talk about that she goes out there to go chase this bad guy, and that put her in a spot where he could have gotten angry at that point, come back to her. Instead, gosh, if you're going to go out there, close that door and lock it. Better yet, get to a place of safety, call the police. Don't chase those bad guys, because bad things happen when you do on a not irregular basis. All in all, I think this is one of the funnier defensive encounters that I've seen. I'm grateful that it worked, but let's be careful and recognize how risky it was. But she covered her ass.